Oh, really. Oh,
It's good. At the back. Thank you. Cutting of the cake is 12 o'clock, and then we'll be singing round all the things round the fire. All right? It's going to be 12. So, Mr. and Mrs. Mehrotra should cut it. Come along. It is their day. Come along. अरे आओ बेटे, आज तुम लोग का दिन है. आओ चलो.
माँ उसके ऊपर लिखा है देखिए. From Mataji. देखो लिखा है बिल्कुल.
This is from Mataji. All right.
To all side yogis.
All right. So then we have to sing a song to him. All right? To Mehrotra.
बोलो जगन माता निर्मला देवी की जय. He's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow.
Mr. Jolly. All right. So now we can have the rest of the carols. Plus they have got lot of these things for the celebration of. So better finish it fast. And then we are going to have the real ones. All right. So go ahead fast. How many there are? All right. Let's have it. त्याला कापून ह्याचे तुकडे करून आणायचे सगळ्यांच्यासाठी तिकडे खाली घ्या त्याचं असं कापून तिला द्या Wonderful. Great. Let's have another one now. आता हे झाल्यावर voice is. Start singing. All right, let's start, Brother One. बहुत अच्छा गाना है I did it, huh? Not so good. You know, speaking, my voice is gone off, but still I'm trying. बता आवाज कैसे हालत में डाल Oh beautiful. This one is a very beautiful one, isn't it? Taken with the serenity of the time. Tilt and movement is beautiful. You got all of them? How many? Well, let's have it. see that.
Jai Shri Mataji. It's our privilege and honor that on this auspicious day, we are gathered across the United States, all over the world, celebrating the advent of Sri Ganesha on this earth as Lord Christ. Let's all put attention within ourselves. Within ourselves. And fully surrender everything at the lotus feet of Srimadji, knowing fully well that she's everything, this whole universe, and she's the one who does everything. Now from the heart, express and put in all the feelings of absolute love, devotion, surrender to Srimataji. Praying that, O Srimataji, kindly be in our hearts forever. And may your light manifest through us wherever we go. Embodying the innocence, the chastity, the forgiveness, the peace, the compassion, the love which you bestowed on all of us and bestowed on Lord Christ, so that that becomes reality in our lives, in whichever sphere we move. Let the attention go from the heart to the Sahasrara, surrendering everything, the ego, superego, whatever it might be. We'll take the name of Sri Ganesha and offer his mantra, Sri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha expressing that feeling, that bhav of love and surrender, devotion to Shrimadji. Now we'll take the name of Sri Jesus Mary Mata. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jesus Mary Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Let's all try to be in sync. Now let's offer the three Mahamantras. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Pradayani Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. 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 Bolo Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki Jai. Jai Shri Mataji. We can all bow down and offer pranam, and then we'll stand up and welcome Shrimadji with Sitting in the Heart of the Universe. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. Shri Mataji, we love you. 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 Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. You are Mahakali Mahalakshmi. You are Mother Adishakti. You are Mahakali Mahalakshmi. You are Mother Adishakti. The power within us when we feel it. Our hearts rejoice in bhakti. When we surrender, we are in paradise. When we surrender, we are in paradise. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. You are the supreme creator, playing the game of creation. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. Sitting in the heart of the universe, we know your love is flowing through us. We know your love is flowing through us. We know your love is flowing through us. बोलो आदि शक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय की जय की जय जय श्री माता जी।
Today we have assembled here to celebrate the birth of Christ. When you think of his birth, one knows that he was born in a very humble place. And all his life he lived in a very humble way. Also, as such yogis, you know that he was the incarnation of Sri Ganesha, which is in essence is innocence, and he was crucified due to the stupid understanding of blind people. He was the eternal child, and it's so sad that when we talk about Christ and Christianity, we feel that Christianity has gone just the other way round, on the other side of Christ. If one is construction, the another is destruction. And if one is innocence, another is cunning. If you see the Christian nations, it's very surprising, where we have got Christianity in its practice. It's very surprising that innocence has no place, no respect. Chastity has no place, no respect, which was the essence of Christ. He was made of it. It is sometimes shocking how these so-called Christian nations have maligned Christ to that extent. And how they have ruined so many people with their stupid ideas of allowing people to indulge into all kinds of filthy things. And the second point is very important to see how he was born in a very humble abode. He lived in a very humble way. He was the son of a carpenter, so he lived like a carpenter. But in the Western life, people are so materialistic. And to them, to live lavishly, to show off their wealth and to plunder people, plunder countries after countries for material gain is a common thing. They do not feel also that it is wrong, and they are quite proud of it. And the third great thing about Christ was that he wanted people to love each other and to be humble. But the arrogance and the cruelty that one has seen of the Christian nations, one cannot understand. How are they anywhere near Christ? He has said about blessed are those who are meek. Where are those meek people living? Not in the Western countries, not in the countries where Christ is worshipped, where temples are raised in his honor and have been worshipping the mother for so many years. What a sinful thing it is to do to Christ. Is the greatest sin that we say that we are following Christ and to do all these horrible things. All such people have to go to hell of the worst type, no doubt about it. They may not realize, but they are already getting into it. They are already having this problem. They are worse than people who crucified Christ. This is everyday crucifixion. So it's a great occasion today to celebrate the birth of Christ who came on this earth to help us in our resurrection, to talk about the Holy Ghost. He was bearing all the brunt of the people, everything. But the outcome of that life is so horrifying that sometimes I get worried that I hope they don't make something out of me like that. It's such a stupid ideas people have in the West that for any sensible man he can see the way they're emotional, romantic, nonsensical. They have no respect for themselves. And to follow Christ with that kind of an attitude is, I think, they have no business, they have no right. But it has happened. Now you people are born again. As Christ has said, you are to be born again. You have achieved that state which Christ was talking about. You are the special type of people. I never had such hopes, I must say. The first encounter was so horrible that I didn't think that many will come out of it. But so many of you have come out of it and have really glorified the name of Christ, no doubt about it. And keep it up. I would request you now to know that you are Sahajogis and that you are the followers of Christ. You are the Gnostics as described. You are the ones who know. And that's how you have to help people to emancipate. It is very surprising that I saw that the Western life, the stupid, destructive ideas did not kill the innocence. Like the clouds, all these affectations were there. But once the Kundalini rose, the innocence started expressing itself. But still, I would say that this kind of lovey-dovey stuff must be given up. It is just most un-Christian, because if you see his life, was a life of a tapasvi, a man who lived in a very detached manner, in Nisanga. So for Sahajogis who are coming from Christian life, have to understand if they have to get rid of it, they should be like that. But on the contrary, see the interest in marriages, the interest in all this kind of thing, and after marriage is a bit too much. Is so much in it. I mean, It's absurd. It's absurd in Sahaja Yoga. It's one of the lifestyles. It's all right, one of the part. It's not everything. And it covers the whole entire personality of a Christian personality. Not with Muslims or Hindus. I've seen that. I mean, I'm married too. This doesn't cover my whole entire being with it. How can it? And that's the problem, is that once marriage system starts, anything starts, oh, it's become so important. And I'm faced with problems all the time. The marriage is performed, then letters will be coming. This has happened to my marriage. They must get married. Nobody is such that supposing now one is finished, live without marriage. They cannot do it. Just can't live. Christ never got married. They cannot have that tapasvita in them. And they depend so much. They'll ruin their wives, they'll ruin their husbands, they'll ruin Sahaja Yoga, they'll take them away. But it's something surprising. The importance of Sahaja Yoga is so minimized by this Christian mind. I don't know from where these ideas have come to. It's a juxtaposition, as you can call it, juxtaposition. There is no similarity between the life Christ must have thought people would lead and the people are leading. So it is necessary for Sahaja Yogis to have a dignity and a sense, and to know that they are grounded in Sahaja Yoga, and marriage and all those things are just subsidiary. It's not the end of life. And when I see that happening, I'm rather surprised in Sahaja Yoga. I have to marry people because I believe that one should lead a proper married life. Because if you just take up a sannyasa without going through this married life, you can be very much hypocritical. But that doesn't mean that marriage is everything. It's not so important. It's just something has to happen. It's not even important than any puja. It's not even important than praying to me. It's not even important than meditating. It's not important at all than even eating your food. The more ado you start making of it, you fall into the same trap from where I pulled you out. So, the other day I was telling people about what they have to do about these caste system we have in India. So in the society of Sahaja Yogis, it should be only a one-day affair or two-day affair at the most. But so much importance. Husband, wives getting married, then solving their problems. I get a headache with them. And they'll always come, my wife, she's like this, and wife's sister like that, and wife's this. And one should be ashamed even to say that, my wife. In India, nobody says like that. I don't think anybody will say, my wife. Not done. At the most, they'll say, my children's mother. And if you have no children, you don't say anything. So, this is the doom from which you have come out. Please try to understand. From hell we have come out. Absolutely wrong ideas we had. From there we have come out. Now, be dignified. Be sensible. And over-importance to such unimportant thing will not allow you to rise very high in life. But I don't say you don't marry, you must marry. Of course, if you have a Sahaja Yogini who is also a good Sahaja Yogini and she knows about Sahaja Yoga, and then of course you are helped much more, definitely. You get much more power much more understanding, much more joy, and it's very good. But the interrelationship is so important on small, small things. It's just beyond me to understand. Then I see that then the girls fall in love with a man whom they marry. Finished. The man is finished, the woman is finished. Today I am taking this great occasion to tell you that Christ was born to Immaculata. And that's how I have given you your second birth. And you are so pure. So all the impurities, you must see them clearly. I know you don't like them, but they still creep from here and there. Of course, if the society you see in the West is a society which, of course, there's no family, no wife, nothing of the kind. So it's slightly better than that. But again you get stuck. If you have to come up to this stage, you have to give up the staircase. You think that you have achieved a lot because now you have a settled family and settled children and you are only worried about your own children all the time. No. It's another temptation. It's a very big temptation. So, on the great occasion of the birth of Christ, we have to say to ourselves that we are dedicated to Sahaja Yoga. That's the main thing. Everything is subsidiary. I hope you'll understand that we are now on the cusp of a wave from where we are going to jump onto another wave, which will be much higher than this. But you must have the worthiness. If you are not sea-worthy, you will be drowned. So we have to develop that worthiness. And we have Christ before us. What a life. What a life it was. He lived like a human being in a humble way. What a life. And how truthfully forthright he was to say everything so clearly. In the same way, you will have your strength when you will know that you are much more than a married man and you are much more than your nationality. You are a higher personality, a Sahaja who is dwelling in the bliss of the kingdom of God. That's the bliss, not the family bliss and the children bliss, but the bliss of God. May God bless you.
According to Sahaja Yoga, Christ is settled on your Agya Chakra. His whole life is depicting the qualities of a person who is a realized soul. And what he has suggested in his own life is that you should not have any greed or lust. The way these days people are greedy all over the world is really shocking. Right from the childhood, our children also learn to ask for this or ask for that. Only complete satisfaction in life can give you that equanimity, that balance, by which you do not hanker after it. These days, even India has become very much westernized in the sense they are also very much wanting to have this and that. Actually, now in America, suddenly with this happening, people are getting to spirituality. They come to spirituality because they think they have not found any satisfaction anywhere. But we have to see from his life, the great life of Christ. First he was born in a small little hut, as you so many of them when you come round. Very much satisfied, and he was put in a cradle which was all covered with dry, very dry grass. Can you imagine? And then he sacrificed his life on the cross. Whole thing is a story of sacrifice. Because he had a power of spirit, that he could sacrifice anything. He even sacrificed his own life. So you can understand the greatness of Christ was coming from his great personality of spirituality. But the same Christ is worshipped all over the world, especially in the Western countries. And you'll be amazed to know how they are running after things. Or their industries are running with big stories about what they make. And how people boast of their wealth. They will have a cross in their necks to show that they are Christians. First of all, one should never bear that cross on which Christ was crucified. But they do make up by this hypocrisy, and they are another extreme of Christ. Not only they, but even their wives and their children are all very greedy people. They should have this, they should have that. But now India is very much in the same run. And what do they ask for? They think by getting all these things around them, they'll be very comfortable. It's not so. They are all the time hankering, and they cannot even enjoy whatever they have achieved. It is something very surprising that in a country like America, where there was no corruption, but there were people who were making big money, They are supposed to be disciples of Christ. It's beyond me. India was once upon a time a real saintly country where saints were respected. But nowadays, India has fallen down to such a low level of greed that impossible to understand these people. We can say they had not such a great following of Christ. And those who followed Christ, also the Christians here, they are the worst. They are the ones who have taken to all kinds of Western life, of greed. And they call themselves Christians. But Christ has shown that you don't need anything in this world. He is such a great personality, such a great incarnation, respected all everywhere. Why? Because his power of sacrificing was the highest. Not because he was owning a big car or any big house, nothing. Only because he was such a humble man. His life is remarkable. And that today he governs the hearts of so many. Despite the fact he was born a very, very poor man and was crucified also as a very poor man. So those people who are running after money are no way Christians, are nowhere near Christ. And so happy and joyous he was. And he helped the poor, he helped the needy, because he understood their problems, because he could feel them. He tried to help all kinds of diseased people, underprivileged, while today's world has come to such a nonsense that they help countries to fight. They create Christianity to fight. What is Christianity doing in this country? It's just to create a big power of creating lots of Christians. I've heard from many places how they are converting people to Christianity. Christ never converted even a single soul. He wanted to give transformation, as you all have got it, but not changing the religion or changing your birthmarks, no. And what did he achieve is this kind of a useless, third-rate people who are running after lust and greed. I get worried sometimes about myself, that I hope my disciples and my children won't do things which are against Sahaj, which are against the principle of Sahaj. And one of the principle of Sahaj is that you have to help people, those who are downtrodden, those who are not yet realized. You have to give them realization. It is not the way world is going on that we give help to people who are ruining this world. If we have to save this country, if we have to save the whole world, then we have to become like Christ. Develop your sacrificing temperament. It should be very, very powerful thing, because you are all realized souls. Try to develop that, a temperament of helping others. I have known some very great people in my life who were always willing to give to people who haven't got it. And they have been of such a great temperament, they were never sort of given any big award or anything, but very happy if they could help others. It's very, very sad today in this country where so many people have sacrificed their lives to achieve independence and freedom. And what is happening is now, today, same people, or maybe their children may be not the same, are supposed to be governing, supposed to be in charge, are making money. Why this situation has come? In this country also we had many people who were extremely sacrificing. They were the leaders. But how many of you are like that? How many of you would like to give away something of yours to others? What would you do to help others? It's very sad that the Christian nations have never followed Christ, and we also are becoming the same. I don't say that we should not do business or we should not make money. You can, but with all that, you must remember, for whom are you doing it? What are you going to do with it? With this money, what are you going to do? Actually, we should find out at least in 1 year, have we given up one of our things to others? Not that I say you crucify yours. No, that's been too much. But can you at least sacrifice a little bit of your comfort for the people? Sahajogis have to be extremely kind and loving people. If you are not that, you are not Sahajogis. First thing, you should be kind and loving and understanding the problems around, and try to help as many people as you can. But that is not so. Even Sahajogis do not understand what is the value of their life. They are on the same path as Christ was. They are realized souls. They must have that feeling They must have that oneness with the rest of the people, and they should feel the sacrifice of Christ within themselves. How he sacrificed his life is to improve our agya, to remove our ego, to fight our ego. But we are so egoistical. Whatever he has done is a waste, is something people don't understand, and they do not imbibe his character and his life. It's very bad. For us, he is a very great message for all the people who are realized souls. He is a very great example. There are so many things to be done. We have, as you know, my mind is always with the needy. And I have started many such organizations. You know them very well. Recently I started something for the destitute women and the orphans in Delhi. I paid most of the money. But at just the finishing, I said, why not ask Sahajogis to pay that little money to finish? And they did. They did pay. In Delhi, I must congratulate them for showing the way to other Sahajogis. I was amazed how they could raise so much money for this big organization. It is something we never see, how the women are suffering in our country, how the destitute women are suffering. They are left out by their husbands for no fault of theirs. No. Just like that. For some whim, they are left on the street with the children. More in the Muslims, it's worse. And I felt very much that I should try to do something, at least bring the attention of the people to their lot and to their problem, so that they come up into life and earn their living. I think it's a duty of all the Sahajogis to go and see around who need your help. Just don't live for yourself, earning for yourself, making money for yourself, but try to help. Help those people who can really be helped, and they should say, it's the Sahajogis who have done. So many ideas I have of helping people, and I'm going to try them with whatever money I have. But I wish you could decide to do something for them. Especially this country is divided into at least two parts. One is the rich, another is the very poor people. These very poor people just make my heart wrench with pain. I don't know how to help them. It's such a vast community. But if you people decide, you can go around. Sit down. You can go around. And you can find out ways and methods of helping the people who are extremely poor. They need your help by all means. And you are capable. With the Mahalakshmi's blessings, you are well equipped. And try to help the poor. Try to help the people who are in great trouble. I know they are not Sahajogis. Don't expect them to be Sahajogis. They cannot be. At the time of Christ, how many there were who were Sahajogis? How many people were there who could understand the depth of human problems? But Christ did. And he sacrificed his life for the sins of the people. Can you imagine? It's a day to celebrate his birthday with very great joy. But what a birth, what a life that he had to go through. Nobody would like to have that kind of a life. But the essence of it we must understand. Running after greed is madness. There's no end to greed. Those who are greedy all the time. They are asking for money, asking for this, asking for that. Why not? See to others what do they want. Because we are in collective consciousness, we should understand what do these people want, what can we do for the people. I know it's very difficult in those modern times with all the advertisements going on. But we are Sahajogis. We have to be normal people. We have to face it in a way that a saint has to face and try to eradicate all these ills by your special powers. Today is a day of great joy to me and to all of you. Also at the same time, when I see that the life of Christ, such a short life, how miserable it was. Not because of poverty, no, but because of hatred and because of tortures he had to go through. He didn't mind poverty. He didn't write anything about it. What he felt bad was really the way things are wrong and the way they were oppressed. And he took up all that agony onto himself to solve the problem. He created the Christians, and what they are doing is nonsense, just a nonsense. It has no meaning. It is no meaning to Christ's life, and it has no meaning to the richness of his great work. So when we are celebrating his birthday, we should also celebrate his sacrificing capacity, his power of loving. Now Sahajogis have become very good people, very loving people, no doubt about it. But still I think the greed lingers on. There's no end to greed. I must tell you, I have seen people who are so mad. Like in America, they found out those people at the top of every organization, corporators, who were so rich, but they had 25 aeroplanes. and about over 50 cars. Are they going to travel by these 50 cars? How are they going to travel? One foot in one car and another foot in another car? But they had it. All this kind of madness. And they said that now they have nothing to say as such, but now that's all confiscated. What will you do with all this kind of a temperament, people? Isn't it madness to have 25 aeroplanes and above 50 motor cars? And they thought no end of themselves, stupid as they were. When they will die, all this will finish. They are fighting about something in America, such a funny place, where you do understand where are we going with our greed. This one incident where a very young girl married a very, very old man, very old. And when this old man died, he left all his money to this young lady. So the son came over and he made a case that I have been his son for so many years, and how can this lady get all the money? She got billions and billions, but still she wanted to have the whole. So she gave excuses, saying, I have done so much for him, with this old man, I have sacrificed so many things and this and that. It's a shameless thing, the way people are. And they are not ashamed that they are asking for money, money, money. For comfort, comfort, comfort. It's very, very difficult to understand human beings. Once they have gone in a strange way, they can go to any extent. They don't know how to sacrifice it. When I have seen, when Gandhiji asked people to sacrifice, all the women gave away their ornaments. They gave away their lives. They went to jail, did all kinds of things to achieve independence. Now, what is the independence they got? Immediately all the thugs of the world became in charge. All the thieves of the world became in charge. What do you say to such a country where everything that is great and noble goes into waste? Have you been a noble person? Ask yourself. Have you been noble? Have you tried to help others? From the life of Christ, we have to know that he lived in poverty. He was King of Kings, but he lived in poverty with grace. And he did everything for people who were sinful, who were in trouble. Such a lot, one person. Now you are so many of you. You all have to do something. Don't live like these corporators, but try to know that you have to sacrifice something of your earnings, something of your luxuries for the sake of your country, because you are service. You are not ordinary people. You have got your realization. So what are you doing? Are you demanding money from everyone, or you are giving love to everyone. Let me hear the stories of Sahajogis who are giving love and compassion. I'm sorry, today on the day of his birthday, I have to tell about your life, which was very, very painful otherwise. For us to understand that such a glorious personality, such a great Sahajogi, he had to go through so many problems in his life. And his own people troubled him. His own people tried to take advantage. I too have this experience from Sahajogis who got well out of Sahajoga, and they tried to trouble me. They tried to make money out of me. Everyone knows they have such a bad value system that how can you say they are realized souls? So, we have to think where we can help others, what we can do for others. This is one of the things one has to learn from the life of Christ. I was actually born in a Christian family. And what I found out among the Christians, that extremely they were mean, dirty people. They were planning against each other and very money oriented. When my father went to jail, they threw us out of church. To love your country is a sin, is it? They did it. And when he came back and he became the mayor of Bombay, of Nagpur, they were his greatest admirers. They take out a procession. So my father just smiled at it. And he said, see these stupid people. This is complete stupidity. And this kind of greed and this kind of stupidity must be stopped. They run after money, they run after positions, they run after also very bad things, some of the things. Not the Sahajogis, but they do. But even among Sahajogis I have found people who are very money oriented, and they have made money out of Sahajoga. I am such a useless person. I don't understand money. So they could befool me. All right, doesn't matter. And for years together they were befooling me, it's all right. Now what to do? What do I need money for? That is the trouble. The trouble is, if you are not careful, if you are not very money oriented, others can rob you. I say, let them rob. Let them do what they like. But I cannot develop a temperament by which I can get after people for money. I cannot. I accept whatever account you give me. I accept whatever you say. I know it is sinful. It is wrong. If they are not aware of it, I can't help it. They all will be ruined, all such people. I know that. But what to do if they don't realize it themselves? Making money out of Sahajoga, can you imagine? Such a stupid thing to do. It's very common, very bad. I want you all to be above money, to above all these worldly things. And You will never starve. You will never have problem. But do not get mixed up with this kind of nonsensical things. This is God's work, and you shouldn't make money out of it. In no way. So, we have to learn a lot from the great life of Christ, who was born as a very humble man, and he did such great things. He tried to improve our agyas, and even now, if you think of him, your agya will be all right. It will be finished. I know among Sahajogis also there are people who are very pushing, are all the time pushing themselves. For what? What do you want? All the time they are pushing around, just like all other stupid people. So to feel the satisfaction within yourself, just like Christ, you have to meditate and introspect and find out, are you satisfied? You have to be very much satisfied in life. Otherwise, no use having Sahaja. No use getting yourself realized. I bless you from my heart that you take the character of Christ as a model for you, and to understand the problems of the world from the whole world as your own problems. May God bless you.
We'll now offer Sri Ganesh Puja. We start with Sri Ganesha Tarshish. Om Namaste Ganapate. Raj, you and Shrikali can go. Video from video. All the children can come up to wash Shrimadi's feet. Stop sharing video and I'll focus. Sure. Om Namaste Ganapataye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tatvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva Kevalam Bhartasi Tvameva Kevalam Bhartasi Tvameva Sarvam Kalvidam Brahmasi Tvam Sakshad Atmasi Nityam Ritam Vachmi Satyam Vachmi Avatvam Mam Avavaktaram Avashrotaram Avapurastat, Avottaratat, Avadakshinatat, Avachodvatat, Avadharatat, Sarvato Mam Pahi Pahi Samantat, Tvam Vangmaya Tvam Chinmaya, Tvam Anandamaya Tvam Brahmamaya, Tvam Satchidananda Vidyosi, Tvam Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvam Jnanamayo Vijnanamayosi, Sarvam Jagdidam Tvato Jayate, Sarvam Jagdidam Tvatishthati, Sarvam Jagdidam Tvai Vahishati, Sarvam Jagdidam Tvai Layameshati, Sarvam Bhumi Apo Nalo Nilo Nabha, Tvam Chatvari Vakpadani, Tvam Gunatrayatikaha, Tvam Dehatrayatikaha, Tvam Kalatrayatikaha, Tvam Muladhara Stitosi Nityam, Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha, Tvam Yogino Jayanti Nityam, Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Rudra, Tvam Indra, Tvam Agni, Tvam Vayu, Tvam Surya, Tvam Chandrama, Tvam Brahma, Bhurbhuva Svaro, Ganani Purvamuchaya, Varnani Tadantaram, Anuswarya Parataraha, Arhendulashitam, Tarena Ruddham, Etadava Manuswarupam, Gakara Purvarupam, Akaro Madhyamarupam, Anuswaya Gachante Rupam, Bindurutra Rupam, Nada Sandhanam, Samita Sandhihi, Shesha Ganesha Vidya, Ganika Rishi, Nishir Gayatri Chandaha, Ganapatir Devata, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Ekadantaya Vidmahe, Vakratundaya Dhimahi, Tanno Danti Prachodayat, Ekadantam Chaturhastam, Pashamankushayam, Radham cha Varadam, Haste Vimranam, Mushakadvajam, Rakam Lambodharam, Shurpa Karnakam, Rakta Vasasam, Rakta Gandhanuliptangam, Rakta Pushpai Supujitam, Bhaktanukampiram Devam Jagatkaranam Achyutam, आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृते पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लंबोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदूतये नमो नमः साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। We now offer Shri Ganesha Stuti. You guys are offering. If you can do it to the side so that they can see each other's photo, not your end.
साइड से ऑफर करो ताकि चरण दिखे वीडियो में. This is okay. When you offer,
You need to be at the side.
This is okay.
हेमजासुतं भजे गणेशमेष नन्दनम् एकदन्तवक्रतुण्डनागयज्ञसूत्रका रक्तगात्रधूम्रनेत्र शुभ्रवस्त्रमण्डितं कल्पवृक्षभक्तरक्ष नमोऽस्तु ते गजानना पाशपाणि चक्रपाणि मूषकादिरोहिणा अग्निकोटि सूर्यज्योति वज्रकोटि निर्मला पाशपाणि चक्रपाणि मूषकादिरोहिणम् अग्निकोटि सूर्यज्योति वज्रकोटि निर्मला चित्रमाल भक्तिजाल बालचन्द्र शोभितं कल्पवृक्ष भक्तरक्ष नमोऽस्तु ते गजानना हेमजासुतं भजे गणेशमेष नन्दनम् वर्चिता दिव्यवाणी काल जाल लोकपाल वंदिता भूत भव्य हव्य काव्य मधुर भार वर्षिता दिव्यवाणी काल जाल लोकपाल वंदिता पूर्ण ब्रह्म सूर्य वर्ण शूर शंभुरातका कल्प वृक्ष भक्त रत्न मोस्तुते गजानना भजे गणेश मेष वंदना एकदंत भक्तो भाग्यज्ञ सूत्रका रक्तगात्र धूम्र नेत्र शुक्र वस्त्र वंदिता कल्प वृक्ष भक्त रत्न मोस्तुते गजानना विश्ववीर्य विश्वसूर्य विश्वकर्म निर्मला विश्वहर्ता विश्वकर्ता यंत्र तंत्र पूजिता विश्ववीर्य विश्वसूर्य विश्वकर्म निर्मला विश्वहर्ता विश्वकर्ता यंत्र तंत्र पूजिता चतुर्मुखं चतुर्भुजं सेवितं चतुर्युगं कल्पवृक्ष भक्त रत्न मोस्तुते गजानना भजे गणेश मेष वंदनम् एकदंत भक्तवृंदनागयज्ञ सूत्रका रक्तगात्र धूम्र नेत्र शुक्र वस्त्र वंदितं कल्पवृक्ष भक्त नमोस्तुते गजानना स्तुते गजानना नमोस्तुते गजानना स्तुते गजानना We now offer एक गणपति एक ईसा एक गणपति एक ईसा दोनों ने आदि माँ को ध्याया अंतर क्या दोनों की शक्ति में बोलो अंतर क्या दोनों की शक्ति में बोलो एक गौरी के दुलारे एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे एक गौरी के दुलारे एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे एक गणपति एक ईसा दोनों ने आदि माँ को ध्याया अंतर क्या दोनों की शक्ति में बोलो अंतर क्या दोनों की शक्ति में बोलो एक गौरी के दुलारे एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे एक गौरी के दुलारे एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे गणपति तो है मूलाधारी ईसा है विश्वधारी गणपति तो है मूलाधारी ईसा है विश्वधारी गणेश बोधिता की है सूरत गणेश बोधिता की है सूरत ईसा क्षमा की मूरत एक बालक एक ताजा दोनों ने अहंकार को त्यागा अंतर क्या दोनों की कीर्ति में बोलो अंतर क्या दोनों की कीर्ति में बोलो एक जागृति दिलाए एक पार कराए एक जागृति दिलाए एक पार कराए एक गणपति एक ईसा नरक के द्वार खड़े लंबोदर मर्यादाएं दिखाए नरक के द्वार खड़े लंबोदर मर्यादाएं दिखाए स्वर्ग का द्वार बने खुद ईसा स्वर्ग का द्वार बने खुद ईसा निर्मल हमको बनाए एक शासक एक बालक दोनों ही निर्मला के बालक अंतर क्या दोनों की तृप्ति में बोलो अंतर क्या दोनों की तृप्ति में बोलो एक नरक छुड़ाए एक स्वर्ग दिलाए एक नरक छुड़ाए एक स्वर्ग दिलाए एक गणपति एक ईसा गणपति ने अवतार लिया एक ईसा में खुद को समाया गणपति ने अवतार लिया एक ईसा में खुद को समाया स्वर्ग का मार्ग सहज दर्शाया स्वर्ग का मार्ग सहज दर्शाया पुनरुत्थान दिलाया एक आदि एक अंती दोनों में ओम की शक्ति अंतर क्या दोनों की भक्ति में बोलो अंतर क्या दोनों की भक्ति में एक गणपति एक ईसा, दोनों रूप मादिमा को ध्याया, अंतर क्या बोलो की छवि में बोलो, अंतर क्या दोनों की शक्ति में बोलो, एक गौरी के दुलारे, एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे, एक गौरी के दुलारे, एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे, एक गौरी के दुलारे, एक मेरी माँ के प्यारे. We now start Devi Puja and we will offer Jagitarak Janmayala.
No, he found the in English. Can't he found the lyrics in English?
No, but we'll use वो जिसको देना है देता है. जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, चला पाहु चला हो प्यारा, जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, चला पाहु चला हो त्याला, जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, नृप वैभव गेहुन नाही, नृप वैभव गेहुन नाही, की अन्य लौकिक काही, की अन्य लौकिक काही, तो दीनच जन्माला, तो दीनच जन्माला, जगी दीन तारायला, जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी सर्वतमाला सारी, जगी सर्वतमाला सारी, करी नाही प्रखर कर धारी, करी नाही प्रखर कर धारी, तो सौम्यच जन्माला, तो सौम्यच जन्माला, जगी पाप्य तारायला, जगी पार जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, हे आकाशातून खाली, हे आकाशातून खाली, नव जीवन गे नव जीवन घेऊन आले, या देही साठवून घ्याला, या देही साठवून घ्याला. जय येशू जय जय बोला, जय येशू जय जय बोला. जय येशू जय जय बोला, 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 जय येशू जय जय बोला, जय येशू जय जय बोला, जय बोला, जय बोला, जय बोला, जय बोला, जय बोला, जय बोला. जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला, जगी तारक जन्माला. Now we'll offer He Prima Murti Jagiyali. Give 1 minute. क्या नंबर था? किधर क्या नंबर? इंग्लिश में है? Marathi 58. हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, मन धारे, मन धारे, मम धारे, मन धारे, हे सर्व जगी संचरले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले. बालवदन तव बगुनी कृष्णा, बालवदन तव बगुनी कृष्णा, सकल दुरितमय जाले अस्ता, सकल दुरितमय जाले अस्ता. नवदिव्य रूप जगिल्याले, नवदिव्य रूप जगिल्याले, मम झाले, मन झाले, मम झाले, मन झाले, हे सर्व जगी संचरले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, मन्मथ सखया तुझा पालना, मन्मथ सखया तुझा पालना, वदन वाहिले तव संस्तवना, वदन वाहिले तव संस्तवना, हे सर्व तुला हे दिधले, हे सर्व तुला हे दिधले, मम झाले मन झाले, मम झाले मन झाले, हे सर्व जगी संचरले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले, हे प्रेम मूर्त, हे प्रेम मूर्त, हे प्रेम मूर्त जगियाले. We will now offer Silent Night. English. It's English 81. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is right, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, holy night. Please don't do all this. Puja going on. Stop it. इसको बंद करो. Turn it off. Do not try this. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is right, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds wake at the Glory streams from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ our Savior is born. Christ our Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's your light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Silent night, holy night, wondrous star, lend your light. With the angels, let us sing. Hallelujah to our King. Christ our Savior is born. Christ our Savior is born. Still night, heilige Nacht, alle schlaft ensamwald, nur das traute Hochheilig Paar, holder Navid, Gott im Haar. Slaap in heilige slaap, slaap in himmlischer Ruhe. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Down yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Now we'll offer Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Ladies, when you're offering, can you be at an angle? Come on. Come on. Let me start. Come on. Hark the herald angels sing. We need just start it, then we'll pick up. Just the first one.
Hark the
Herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the sky. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ by highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord, late in time, behold him come, offspring of a virgin's womb, veiled in flesh the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity, pleased as man with man to dwell, Jesus our Emmanuel. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness, light and life to all he brings, risen with the healing in his wings. Mild he lives his glory by, born that man no more may die, born to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. बोलो श्री यीशु क्रिस्त की जय जय श्री माता जी नमो नमो Now we'll offer Namo Namo Maria.
Marathi 23.
Marathi 23. Namo Namo Maria.
Namo Namo
Maria, oh, Namo Namo Maria, तुझा नमस्कार, तुझा पोटी जन्म गई प्रभु तारनार, तुझा पोटी जन्म गई प्रभु तारनार. नमो नमो Maria, oh, Namo Namo Maria, तुझा नमस्कार, तुझा पोटी जन्म गई प्रभु तारनार, तुझा पोटी जन्म गई प्रभु तारनार. हो सर्वस्त्रियामध्ये तू जगत धन्य, देव बाप झाला आहे तू झाला प्रसन्न, देव बाप झाला आहे तू झाला प्रसन्न, देव बाप झाला आहे तू झाला प्रसन्न. मारियेने केला हो मारियेने केला देवपुत्रचा स्वीकार, तुझा पोटी जन्म घेई प्रभु तारनार, तुझा पोटी जन्म घेई प्रभु तारनार. नमो नमो Maria, हो नमो नमो Maria, तुझा नमस्कार, तुझा पोटी जन्म घेई प्रभु तारनार, तुझा पोटी जन्म घेई प्रभु तारनार. ओ योशवाचे मनामध्ये संशय येई, निष्कलंक Maria का गर्भवती राही, निष्कलंक Maria का गर्भवती राही, निष्कलंक Maria का गर्भवती राही. धर्म पाणी हो धर्म पाणी सोडण्याच्या योगीला विचार, तुझा पोटी जन्म घेई प्रभु तारनार, कोटि जन्म गई प्रभु तारना नमो नमो मरिया हो नमो नमो मरिया दूताचा नमस्कार हे तुझ्या पोटी जन्म गई प्रभु तारना तुझ्या पोटी जन्म गई प्रभु तारना ओ स्वप्नियों सपाचे देवरा दूता Maria Sadeu Nago Dosha, Nishkalanka Maria Sadeu Nago Dosha, Nishkalanka Maria Sadeu Nago Dosha, Gunya Govindane, Gunya Govindane, Ananda Parivar, hey, Tuka Poti Dhamma Gei Prabhu Tarana, Tuka Poti Dhamma Gei Prabhu Tarana. Namo Namo Maria, oh, Namo Namo Maria, Dutacha Namaskar. Hey, Dutapati Janma Gei Prabhu Tarana, Dutapati Janma Gei Prabhu Tarana, Dutapati Janma Gei Prabhu Tarana, Dutapati Janma Gei Prabhu Tarana. Now we'll sing Dhyanate Rangale, Marathi 67. Dhyanate Rangale सहस्रारद्वारी ध्यान तेरा ले सहस्रारद्वारी मुखी नाम घेता मुखी नाम घेता निर्मला हितारी मुखी नाम घेता मुखी नाम घेता निर्मला हितारी ध्यान दे रंगले सहस्रारद्वारी चरणी तुझ्या बैसत माते मन ते निवाले चरणी तुझ्या बैसत माते मन ते निवाले सुषुम्नाच्या मार्गे सुषुम्नाच्या मार्गे स्वरूपाच्या तीरी सुषुम्नाच्या मार्गे सुषुम्नाच्या मार्गे स्वरूपाच्या तीरी ध्यान दे रंगले सहस्रारद्वारी ध्यान दे रंगले सहस्रारद्वारी अकार उकार मकार ते ब्रह्मा अकार उकार मकार ते ब्रह्मा चैतन्याच्या गर्भ चैतन्याच्या गर्भ मूलाधार दावी चैतन्याचा गर्भ चैतन्याचा गर्भ मूलाधार दावी ध्यान दे रंगले सहस्रारद्वारी ध्यान दे रंगले सहस्रारद्वारी आनंद चौर्मी अंतर Chaitanya Sagari, Chaitanya Sagari, Ami Mari Dugi, Chaitanya Sagari, Chaitanya Sagari, Ami Mari Dugi, Dhyana Tirangale, Sahasrar Dwari, Dhyana Tirangale, Sahasrar Dwari. सहस्रार भेद कोणी नाही केला, सहस्रार भेद कोणी नाही केला, आदिशक्ती निर्मला, आदिशक्ती निर्मला, आता कार्य करी, आदिशक्ती निर्मला, आदिशक्ती निर्मला, आता कार्य करी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी. राज झाले साधू संत आले, योगी राज झाले साधू संत आले, आईला प्रथिले, आईला प्रथिले, आज्ञा चक्रवरी, आईला प्रथिले, आईला प्रथिले, आज्ञा चक्रवरी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी. बाल धाव वेगी नाको राहो दूरी, बाल धाव वेगी नाको राहो दूरी, स्वरूपा साक्षात, स्वरूपा साक्षात, तुझ्यात समोरी, स्वरूपा साक्षात, स्वरूपा साक्षात, तुझ्याच समोरी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी. प्रेमची ही गंगा चैतन्याच्या सागरी, प्रेमाची ही गंगा चैतन्याच्या सागरी, अनंत स्वरूपी, अनंत स्वरूपी, वाणी मौन हरी, अनंत स्वरूपी, अनंत स्वरूपी, वाणी मौन हरी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी. मुखी नाम घेता, मुखी नाम घेता, निर्मला हितारी, मुखी नाम घेता, मुखी नाम घेता, निर्मला हितारी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार द्वारी, ध्यान ते रंगले सहस्रार My favorite. Last. Now we'll also Vishwa Vandita. That'll be our last song, and then we'll have Aarti. Hindi 67.
सर्वमङ्गल माङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्य त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मरूपे सदानन्दे परमानन्द स्वरूपिणी रिद्धि सिद्धि प्रदे देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते शरणागत दीनार्थ परित्राण परायणी सर्वस्वार्थी हरे नारायणी नमोस्तुते श्री निर्मला मां नमोस्तुते विश्ववन्दिता निर्मला माता सर्वपूजिता निर्मला माता ब्रह्मस्वरूपिणीया योग निरूपिणीया शुभदां वरदां नमो नमः विश्ववन्दिता निर्मला माता सर्वपूजिता निर्मला माता जगत जननी निर्मला मूल प्रकृति अखिलेश्वर की नित्या सत्या सनातना पराशक्ति परमेश्वर की विश्वधारिणिया मंगलकारिणिया शुभदां वरदां नमो नमः विश्ववन्दिता निर्मला माता सर्वपूजिता निर्मला माता सहज योगिनी निर्मला निराश्रया सर्वेश्वरी प्रेममूर्ति भक्त वत्सला स्नेहमयी मातेश्वरी भक्ति प्रदायिनीया मुक्ति प्रदायिनीया शुभदां वरदां नमो नमः विश्ववन्दिता निर्मला माता सर्वपूजिता निर्मला माता प्रगट सगुना निर्गुणा रिद्धि सिद्धि की दात्री है सौम्या सरला महामया पातांजलि गुण पात्री है घट घट वासिनिया आत्म विकासिनिया शुभदां वरदां नमो नमः विश्ववन्दिता निर्मला माता सर्वपूजिता निर्मला माता ब्रह्मस्वरूपिणीया योग निरूपिणीया शुभदां वरदां नमो नमः विश्ववन्दिता निर्मला माता सर्वपूजिता निर्मला माता निर्मला माता श्री निर्मला माता बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय जय श्री माता जी can all get up off namaskar and then we'll get ready for us. And we'll be offering Sri Ganesh Aarti, the Lord's Prayer, and then Srimati's Aarti. All the children can come up for Aarti, but you need to be in two sides so that Srimati's photograph is seen. One side boys, one side girls.
Girls can be on Shanagi's left side, boys can be on Shanagi's right side.
One can have the candle and one can have the other. So, give the girls other, please. Come on. There is the candle right in front of you. So, no. So they can see. You give this one then to the girl. Or give the agarbatti to the girl. See, from me, see, you can see. Yeah. Yeah, you can come. Sukhakarta Dukharta Varta Vedachi Murvi Purvi Prem Kripajayachi Sarvangi Sundara Vishendurachi Kanti Jadke Mar Mukta Parachi Jai Dev Jai Dev Jai Mangal Murti Darshan Matre Mala Kamana Murti Jai Dev Jai Dev Darshan matre mana kamana purti Jai Dev Jai Dev Ramno Haritam Vakratunda Trinayana Dasamacha Vatpare Sadhana Sankashti Pavave Nirvani Rakshave Survar Bandhana Jai Dev Jai Dev Jai Mangal Murti Darshan Matre Mana Kamana Purti Jai Dev Jai Dev. Now we'll offer the Lord's Prayer and then after that, Shemaiah's prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Sabko dua dena, ma sabko dua dena. Jaya Niramal Mataji, Jaya Niramal Mataji, dil mein sada rehna, aa sabko dua dena, sabko dua dena, aa sabko dua dena, Jaya Niramal
में तेरी महिमा तू गंगा यमुना माँ सबको दुआ देना सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जी जय निर्मल माता जी दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ सुख ही मिला उसको बैठ के दिल में हो माँ बैठ के दिल में हो माँ लौट के ना जाना माँ सबको दुआ देना सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जी जय निर्मल माता जी दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियारा माँ कर दिया उजियारा कल युग में माया है कल युग में माया है फिर भी पहचाना माँ सबको दुआ देना सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जी जय निर्मल माता जी दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता माँ है भारत माता इस धरती पर आकर इस धरती पर आकर दुख से दूर करना माँ सबको दुआ देना सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जी जय निर्मल माता जी दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना जब दिल में आए तब मधुर संगीत सुन लो माँ मधुर संगीत सुन लो रोय सके जो सेवा रोय सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना माँ सबको दुआ देना सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जी जय निर्मल माता जी दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha Bolo Shri Jesus Mary ki Jai. Bolo Shri Mata Ji Nirmala Devi ki Jai. Jai Shri Mata Ji. We'll all sit for a few minutes and meditate, and then after that, distribute prasad.
Let.
No, we don't do that.
What is that? What is Karmi, you making the prasad for Shivani? Prasad.